Mr. Modi says, I forgive the students, when in fact it's what Mr. Modi should have said, I apologize on behalf of the government for the way we have failed the young, for the exams that have been cancelled, for everything that has gone wrong, terribly wrong. But Mr. Modi is stonewalling that. It all became about him playing a victim. And I think it's important to start the program by saying it, because it tells you the attitude and the entire demeanor of this government. This government is authoritarian and fascist. Now, suddenly they have been caught absolutely unawares because they dismissed the Cockroach Janata Party, which is basically a public movement, as an Instagram phenomenon. Not even understanding. I mean, these guys are so Jurassic, actually old-fashioned and regressive, that they did not realize that after spending millions of bucks over several years, your followers today are less than what a party organically got over 2 days. Mr. Modi this was the time for Mr. Narendra Modi to hold a press conference, which is not done for 12 years. He's still doing the single, one-sided videos, which are now becoming object of ridicule because of the way they have been, kind of communicated. What do you say to the young? What are you going to tell the Cockroach Janata Party, Abhijit Dipke, Saurabh Das or Ashutosh Ranka, or the millions of supporters they have? They're not scared of an ED, CBI, income tax or an NIA, right? They're not looking for an election ticket. They're not part of any dynastic, family. They are ordinary but bright young people who believe there's a cause to be fought for. The truth is that I think people have been suppressed for so long under a repressive regime that, this is like a volcanic eruption. It's like breathing air. I tweeted about that. This is like India breathing again. Personally, I feel Mr. Modi is frankly speaking, is completely decimated. I don't think I have seen any political leader being lampooned with such sarcasm, such humor, and such an acid-big assault as Mr. Modi has.
Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. Leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, and Congress MP Rahul Gandhi, today said that the youngsters do not need to apologize to anyone, asserting that they have defended the Constitution and the idea of India. Now, Gandhi made these remarks while addressing the media outside 10 Janpath. And his comments come amid ongoing disruptions in Parliament, where both the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha have witnessed repeated adjournments due to sustained protests by opposition members. He argued that raising concerns over the country's education system was not a crime, describing it as a flawed system, a collapsing system, a useless system that urgently needs reforms. Now, what Rahul Gandhi again said, and I'm going to quote, that if anything, the system needs to be changed, it needs to be corrected, and that is all they were asking for. And alongside with Rahul Gandhi, there were 4 young protesters. One of the girls on whom the police had mistreated, shoving a baton in the buttocks of one of the girls. Then there was another girl who had tried to stop the van by single-handedly stopping the police van. She was also one of them. And so alongside, there were 3-4 girl protesters, female protesters who were there, and they narrated the tale as to how they were harassed, they were maligned, and they were troubled by the police, despite the Prime Minister saying that I have forgiven all of them. Now, the Congress leader further mentioned that the protesters were peaceful and accused the authorities of using excessive force against them. They were not being violent, they were not being aggressive, they were not being nasty, they were beaten, they were assaulted, and that they were threatened. That's what Rahul Gandhi alleged. He also criticized the alleged coercion of students into issuing public apologies, calling the entire exercise a complete nonsense. What exactly, again, he said, and I'm quoting, first forcing them to apologize, sending goons to their homes, sending goons into women's homes, forcibly making them apologize, making a 15-year-old girl apologize and then accepting that apology. That is complete nonsense. We do not accept it. And what Ria Ahir, the girl said, and while she was standing with Rahul Gandhi, she said that I'm not the girl who went viral, but I was the one who confronted the Mumbai police during the protests. She claimed that she had prevented the unlawful detention of several students and urged media to change its portrayal of the incident. Because the media has been harping over the fact that the girl went viral. That's what. So people say, and I'm quoting her, people say, I'm the girl who went viral for stopping the Mumbai police. But I want to tell the media that I'm the girl who stopped 20 children from being unlawfully detained. Appealing to the media to change your narrative and change your perspective, Ria Ahir alleged that she has faced sustained harassment since the incident. So these are just few examples, but the story doesn't end here. And there you have a government which is not ready to hear, which is not ready to listen. Today, Kiran Rijiju, the Parliamentary Affairs Minister, he apparently met Rahul Gandhi for 15 minutes in a closed-door meeting, and he kept on insisting that let's come along for the delimitation bill and the women's reservation bill. No one in the government is actually bothered to answer the main question on the police crackdown. Despite the fact that the Prime Minister has said that we've forgiven them, why are the policemen hounding out children from their homes? Why are their parents being troubled? Nobody has the answers to that. But look at the priority of the government. Kiran Rijiju says, let's come along for the delimitation bill and the women's reservation bill. So we'll try and discuss that. Is the ground really slipping beneath the BJP's feet? Have Amit Shah and Prime Minister Modi got everything which is horribly so wrong at this point of time? Joining me this evening is former Congress spokesperson, author and political commentator Sanjay Jha. Thank you so much, Sanjay, for joining. And just a short while back as we speak, Rahul Gandhi held a press conference outside 10 Janpath addressing the media along with those four girls, the Bravehearts, how they faced, and they were narrating their tales. What is wrong with this government? Today, Kiran Rijiju says he's appealing to the opposition to come along for the delimitation bill and the women's reservation bill.
Nilu, good evening to you. Great to be on your program again. First and foremost, I mean, look at the condescending nature of Mr. Modi's government. Mr. Modi makes a tweet and goes live on a video and says that I forgive the students for whatever language they used in criticizing his government and personally himself. Now, nobody is endorsing the use of abusive or vulgar language. But, this arrogance that says, I forgive you, is frankly speaking grating to the nerves. It is this government that refused to listen to the students for weeks on end. We all know how many students have committed suicide. I mean, Mr. Modi has no apology to offer to the families who are suffering today as you and I are talking because they have lost their children. I mean, what about the students who were protesting and were attacked with pellets and lathis? And everyone saw those images, AK-47 in Bihar. And Mr. Modi says, I forgive the students, when in fact it's what Mr. Modi should have said, I apologize on behalf of the government for the way we have failed the young, for the exams that have been cancelled, for everything that has gone wrong, terribly wrong. But Mr. Modi is stonewalling that. It all became about him playing a victim. And I think it's important to start the program by saying it, because it tells you the attitude and the entire demeanor of this government. See, the truth be told, let me borrow your program's headline, this government is authoritarian and fascist. Now, suddenly they have been caught absolutely unawares because they dismissed the Cockroach Janata Party, which is basically a public movement, as an Instagram phenomenon, not even understanding. I mean, these guys are so Jurassic, actually old fashioned and regressive, that they did not realize that after spending millions of bucks over several years, your followers today are less than what a party organically got over 2 days. It was an extraordinary development. I think even a child would have read the tea leaves, but this government is so in its own, like an ostrich with its head in the sand. They believe they are invulnerable and absolutely infallible, and they will do what they want to do. So the bottom line is this, that if you look at this government, whether it's the ethanol issue that is now escalating, the attack and the abuse on students, the Ram temple donation theft, the complete collapse of governance in the country, and now the defeats in both Patna as well as in Madhya Pradesh, in Bakipur and Datia, it is pretty evident that the manifestation of anger and anguish that we saw in Jantar Mantar is no longer restricted to just one or two issues. It's becoming absolutely like a pandemic, and it's spreading to multiple frustrations. And this is the truth, right? The Cockroach Janata Party's protest was a trigger, the immediate cause. But what you're witnessing from the young of India, and possibly large sections of India that are now wakening up to the reality, is the complete repression over 12 years. And that is now finding a voice.
The impasse which exists, do you think that the government is really keen to break this logjam in parliament? Look at the way Kiran Rijiju, I mean, I was just wondering when I saw those stories coming out that Kiran Rijiju is trying to reach out to the leader of the opposition for the delimitation bill and the women's reservation bill. I mean, what the kind of priority which the government is according to, for them, these oppositions make no sense. It seems that the students' demand, the police crackdown on which Amit Shah should be answering, is nowhere in the priority of the government. They somehow want to get this delimitation bill passed.
Well, I hope the people of India, many of them, I'm not saying all, many of them chose to be blindsided by the Modi government for too long. People like you and me and many others who did not even imagine that Mr. Modi will become Prime Minister in 2014. We saw it pretty early. The writing was on the wall. What has happened, a lot of us are not surprised at all. In a country where lynching has been normalized, where violence has been made, frankly, like a general development in society that we should not snigger over, where corruption has become a way of life, where a government openly obstructs parliament and blames the opposition. The gridlock is entirely the government's doing. I mean, let's understand what's happening in parliament. The opposition is rightfully saying that we want to know who ordered the assault on the young protesters. That's Gen Z, the future of this country. Young boys and girls, whoever was standing next to Rahul Gandhi, are brave children and brave young women and men. People who have actually stood up against an extremely, impregnable government, given the fact that it creates this enormous machinery of formidable power. That's courage. I think Rahul Gandhi in the opposition and anybody, including the Cockroach Janata Party, is right in asking, where is Mr. Amit Shah? Why has he gone MIA? People need actually answers from this government. Mr. Modi this was the time for Mr. Narendra Modi to hold a press conference, which is not done for 12 years. He's still doing the single, one-sided videos, which are now becoming object of ridicule because of the way they have been, kind of communicated.
What do you think, Sanjay, what do you think is the government's strategy right now? Are they thinking that let the opposition continue with their protests, and there will come a time where they'll tire out, they will fatigue out, and then the situation will fizzle out and there'll be no answers sought on this. People will forget this issue and we'll bring in another issue. Is that what you think is going to be the strategy of the government in the coming days or the weeks?
Well, let me tell you, the government of Mr. Modi is rattled like never before. And yes, they will try and be reactive. And one of the ways of being reactive is, well, Mr. Modi shooting off videos every other day. And now you've seen this absolutely absurd video promoting Mr. Modi as some boss man or whatever. It's laughable. You should play it on your program. It's an absolute. I mean, it's so ridiculous. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I actually tweeted, "Is the BJP IT cell become the Trojan horse?" Because that kind of a video is going to make Mr. Modi another round of celebrity and fandom will happen for him on Instagram. I think Instagram memes are telling you that people are now taking this government with a pinch of salt and a bucket full
No,
of
and also compare it with the Jalmuri moment which happened, and then the Melody moment which happened,
Yeah.
and all the mainstream media channels were going gaga. Look how many views Prime Minister Modi has got, and now we see a clear demarcation of how a persona can decline.
Yeah, let me tell you what happens, right? When people lose fear, situation around you transforms almost immediately. Think about it. The opposition, including the Congress, could not successfully take on the BJP because the BJP had a political response for everything. If the Congress and Rahul Gandhi told the people of India that this is a government that is bullying you, intimidating you, is like a dictatorship, every time they would bring up 1975 and the emergency, right? Anything that Rahul Gandhi said, "Oh, you are part of a dynasty. You guys are like first among equals." If there was hundreds of corruption, electoral bond, Rafael, Adani, whatever, but something happened in the Congress regime as well. So there was a lot of whataboutery. What do you say to the young? What are you going to tell the Cockroach Janata Party, Abhijit Dipke, Saurabh Das, or Ashutosh Ranka, or the millions of supporters they have? They're not scared of an ED, CBI, income tax, or an NIA, right? They're not looking for an election ticket. They're not part of any dynastic, family. They are ordinary but bright young people who believe there's a cause to be fought for. And the more the merrier. Absolutely. I welcome the Cockroach Janata Party. I think they are the best thing to have happened to Indian democracy because they have told Mr. Modi that you can't do to us what you do to Congress because you are using a political pressure in a non-level playing field to destroy the opposition. Put them in jail, ED, CBI, income tax, etc. You can't do that to the young of India. Gen Z doesn't care. If you look at the memes that have emerged, I mean, I'm not endorsing anything which has been said in bad taste, but I think most of them have been extremely creative. And they have used intelligence and humor to communicate a message, which is what democracy is about. I think the BJP cannot handle it. So the bottom line to your question is that they will like to wait and hope that this will dissipate, exams will happen, people will go back to colleges and people will go back to working. After how long can, that kind of energy and passion or jazba and junoon survive? The truth is that I think people have been suppressed for so long under a repressive regime that, this is like a volcanic eruption. It's like breathing air. I tweeted about that. This is like India breathing again. You have been asphyxiated and suddenly you're like saying, hang on, there is oxygen and I'm not on a ventilator. And I think that's what's happened to young India and frankly, millennial India, Gen X India, and for those who care, even the boomer India. So things have changed dramatically. And I think this is what politics is about and societies are about, Neelu. Anyone in the BJP who believes that you can just kind of wear it down by waiting for time to kind of create a diversion, they will use mainstream media because they are dancing to the tune of this government. I think mainstream media.
Let me ask you a very a bold question on my show. Is Modi's time over? Have they completely lost it? Is BJP done and dusted? What is your assessment now? They've lost it with the Gen Z. Their stories are not sellable. Nobody is liking whatever Prime Minister Modi is saying, and everything looks hollow. So is Modi's era over?
Personally, I feel Mr. Modi is frankly speaking, is completely decimated. I don't think I have seen any political leader being lampooned with such sarcasm, such humor, and such an acerbic assault as Mr. Modi has experienced over the last couple of weeks. And this is a reflection of the mood of the nation. And let me tell you something, Neelu. it is also an expression of unemployment, of MSMEs, of farmers, of examination scams. It is about the corruption in infrastructure. It's about Hindu-Muslim politics. You saw in Jantar Mantar how everybody came together, right? They in fact said, hang on, don't do this. We are one, don't polarize, don't divide us, it's not going to work. So suddenly the entire edifice of the BJP, Hindutva, 56 inch ki chhati, foreign policy, governance, it's all, frankly, is crumbled. The cookie has crumbled. So think about it logically. To answer your question, I'll give you a bold answer. Mr. Modi is bigger than the BJP, right? They made him bigger than the BJP. I said in a show yesterday that the BJP MPs and everyone else is like bots, like robots. Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah run this political organization. Now, Mr. Modi is, frankly speaking, his image, his reputation is in tatters. And the BJP IT cell is obviously in overdrive to create some silly videos, which is going to be more, I would say, which will boomerang further. But anyway, good luck to them. The truth is that once people in politics begin to see through the cracks, then they begin to see the entire story. If you see a crack in a wall and you look through it, you can see the entire universe, actually, right? They cannot see you, but you can. And that's what's happened. So I think at this point, India has understood. And please exclude the underbugs. I'm not talking about the underbugs. And they're a pretty significant voice, by the way. So you can say the underbugs in the BJP would be around 15 to 18%. They have 37% votes. And I would say around 15 to 17% will be people who will swear by Mr. Modi, no matter what happens, they are core. But I think that's significant, 20% that the BJP has. These are a lot of the ex-Congress voters who migrated, and a lot of young voters who came for the first time and are now switching off. So you are at the moment witnessing a seismic shift. This is where politics is like experiencing a metamorphosis. Something significant is churning, and it's going to upend India's political narrative. So to answer your question once again, I think Mr. Modi and the BJP, if they read carefully, the Bakipur seat result that Prashant has won is telling you a message that maybe the story might have collapsed. Now it's a question of what the opposition does with it going into the future.
You're saying that the BJP story has collapsed, as it looks like from the results which have come from Bankipur and Datia.
Absolutely. And the narrative of the day, right? That they have messed up with the young. Can you imagine Mr. Modi cuts a video and RSS leaders call the young, the Gen Z criminals. They call them Tukre Tukre gang. The BJP president said Tukre Tukre gang. There is another veteran in Kerala.
And by the way, Mohan Bhagwat has called a meeting of Gen Z and Gen Alpha tomorrow in Mumbai.
Exactly my point. And I hope the Gen Z watching this program realize these are hypocrites. These are जिसको हिंदी में हम कहते हैं पाखंडी. दोगलापन इसी को कहते हैं. Mohan Bhagwat wants to talk to 2,000 students and they'll try and televise it and blah, blah, blah. That the truth is the same RSS calls them culprits. They call them criminals. You heard Guru Murthy. I heard him on a show. He was calling them all sorts of names. There is another guy who calls them anti-India, anti-constitution. The guy in Kerala actually used very vulgar language against women protesters and even threatened that if he had an opportunity, he would shoot them. And then, of course, there is AK-47. So I think the BJP has clearly lost the plot, to use the cliche, because they have never been challenged in their own battlefield. The lion has been bearded in their own den, because these are guys who have actually allowed no one to express themselves. And now people are saying we don't care. And I think this is just the beginning, by the way.
One last question, Sanjay, before I wind up the show, that after the Bankipur and the Datia loss, yesterday we saw pictures of Prime Minister Modi meeting Nitish Kumar. Now, Nitish Kumar had been seeking appointment from Prime Minister Modi since the time he had sworn in as a Rajya Sabha MP. Yesterday we saw pictures of Nitish Kumar, and the body language looked as if Nitish Kumar was almost having an upper hand on Prime Minister Modi. Then I saw one tweet coming in from Yashodhara Rajesh Scindia, who happens to be from the Datia from the Datia constituency, because that's her belt. And she has written a very cryptic tweet saying that it's time for introspection. Are we going to see allies like Nitish Kumar and leaders like Yashodhara Raje now showing mirrors to people like Modi and Shah? All those people who were who were sitting quietly so far will now start. I mean, they've begun writing cryptic tweets. Murli Manohar Joshi also has spoken in the past about the Gen Z protest, how it was wrong and the police crackdown. So now the trend would be that we'll hear more and more BJP leaders speaking against Modi or Shah, or they'll try and show the mirror.
Well, let me tell you, it's for them is survival. That's exactly my point. Modi is bigger than the BJP. But now with Modi's reputation, frankly, being torn apart in tatters or blown apart every day by the people of India who are on social media, which has become now more powerful than mainstream media, I think Mr. Modi has forgotten that. Mr. Modi, in his arrogance, believes that just because he controls all the TV channels, this is what India is hearing, the misinformation, disinformation, fake news, and the celebration of Mr. Modi. I think people have moved beyond it. I don't think it has any credibility. I go on television because it's a platform and somebody needs to be there. But the truth is, television is now, frankly speaking, of not too much of relevance. They will still have watchers, but it's people like you, Neelu, and the many others who are making a difference. So the simple question is, if Mr. Modi is bigger than the BJP, and now the BJP leaders are saying, hang on, I mean, he could soon be a political liability. The man who was supposed to be your mascot could soon be your kryptonite. And this happens in politics. As they say, the mojo is off, it's gone. And trust me, with people like Mr. Modi and many others, there are spectacular rise and an extraordinary fall. It happens all the time. Viktor Orban lost, right? No matter what he tried, he did. So, in politics, there are no permanent winners and permanent losers. I think these BJP leaders or members who have so far behaved like cowards and never spoken up against Mr. Modi or Mr. Shah will now realize that their own future is at stake. Because as I said, if Mr. Modi becomes, frankly speaking, a person where the people have said, hang on, you have misled us for 12 years, no more, we have had enough, then the BJP will cease to exist because it'll crash down. If you ask me right now, if on a ballot paper, if there is an election with the mood the way it is, the BJP could collapse significantly. Give it a little more time, they will still wither away. But my prediction is that come next year's midterm elections in some states, is very possible, rather I won't call it midterm, but mid-year elections. I think Mr. Modi's government, if they don't do well, or if they do well, they will try and create a midterm election. Because I think they have lost the momentum and their popularity from here on will only decline. So one thing that I do believe is a possibility is a midterm. Whether the BJP does well or not, I think they will try and work on it, not give the opposition enough time to kind of get its act together, which is why I said the ball is now in Rahul Gandhi, Congress, and the opposition's court.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We'll have to wait and watch a lot of developments coming in there, and how Prime Minister Modi and both Amit Shah reason out the situation. What are the answers? Will the opposition get those answers from the government is something to watch out for. Thank you so much, Sanjay. Always a pleasure having you on the program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.